Shell's Karoo fracking plans have catalysed a battle between government, farmers and conservationists. Jan Willem Eggink, who's the General Manager of Shell South Africa's upstream business, joins us for more. Well, Jan Willem, it's good to have you on the program, particularly after, or as soon as we could get you, after the new legislation came through. You now can go ahead and explore. Just going back a little, the understanding was that once you got the green light, you'd be investing something around $250 million in 6 exploration wells in the Karoo. Is that the updated number?
First of all, thank you, Alec, for getting me on your program. Yes, I think maybe a small correction to what you just said. We don't have a license yet to start operations in the Karoo. We're still waiting for the licenses to be awarded to Shell. The legislation, the MPRDA as it's called, is being amended while we speak and is still doing its rounds. So we're still waiting for the final draft actually to be published. With respect to your question, yes, we are, the minimum commitment that Shell makes for this program is around 6 wells, which is $250 million. What is it, 2 billion rand, roughly?
Which is a substantial investment. You must have an understanding or an idea that there's something pretty good down there.
We would like to drill some wells to prove that actually. What we like about this project is the fact that it really answers the challenges South Africa has. South Africa's challenges have been outlined very well in the National Development Plan, obviously, Trevor Manuel's plan. Inequality, poverty, education and employment, but also energy. And this actually answers, if it works, the questions really on, and the challenges South Africa has on energy. Are we sure the gas is there? No, not at all. There's also a good chance it's not there. But for that we need to drill these wells. And the longer we wait with drilling these wells, the longer this potential game changer to South Africa would actually be delayed.
Jan Willem, just to go back on some of the statistics that have been provided, the EIA in the United States initially came out and said that there were 480 trillion cubic feet of gas under the Karoo. They recently adjusted that to 390 trillion cubic feet. We do know that during the apartheid era, Sucor drilled many holes in the Karoo. How reliable is any of this information?
Yeah, I think we have to treat these volumes quoted anyway with a lot of caution, because this is an exploration project. We first have to drill the wells to actually see whether the gas is there. Then we have to test these wells to see how much gas they can flow and whether the flow is commercial. And only then can we make an assessment actually whether there's a commercial project, yes or no. Obviously we have to take into account the cost of pipelines to bring the gas to a power plant somewhere, or to bring it to an industry site like Kuga with pipelines. But we have to take that all into account before we actually know whether this is a commercially attractive project for Shell. And the volumes behind this are very much based on estimates of what this area could have. The Sucor wells drilled for oil in the 60s, they were not really interested in gas at the time. The wells found the shales, they found maybe some gas, but we still don't know whether there's enough gas there and whether we can flow it at rates that are commercial.
Jan, it's Gugu here. We recently got news that the South African government will be able to acquire 20% free carry stake in oil as well as gas explorations in the company. How might that impact Shell with its fracking venture in South Africa?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you very much for that. The experience Shell has in the world is that actually we like to work together with national governments. And this is also what the government has made very clear here. They would like to partake in these ventures. So we actually encourage that. The question is of course how to do that. I understand they are asking for a 20% free carried interest. The question really is how that is filled in. And that is a discussion that the industry, not only Shell, is having at the moment with the Department of Mineral Resources. And I have full trust that actually we will come to a conclusion at the end of this to a mutually acceptable way of working together, in which both South Africa will win and also the industry will win. So I think we will get there.
Jan, just on that, you mentioned the 20%. First point is, do you think that 20% is too much or too little? And not only that, but South Africa has been plagued by a lot of negative media attention. How do you hope your relations with government might unfold and maybe change in the months to come?
Well, the 20% is difficult to say whether it's too much or too little. I think I would like to go back to my point first made earlier. It is important that the state participates in this project. That is something we've learned in the world in many projects all over. As I tried to explain to you initially, the 20%, it depends a bit how it's filled in, so how it's structured, and then I can maybe make a statement whether it's a lot, yes or no. That is at this point in time, while discussions are ongoing still with the ministry, a bit premature to say anything about. What we need, obviously, as investors, is clarity on terms. We need stability of these terms going forward, and we need attractive terms. So we have to put these all together at the end of the day and say, do we have all this in place, yes or no? And the discussions with the ministry are key in that respect.
When are you likely, given the processes that we're going through now, to start drilling your first exploration wells?
Well, what happens initially is, so if we get the licenses awarded, so if that would be by the end of the year, we have to first start with an environmental impact assessment. This environmental impact assessment will cover the exploration wells that we intend to drill, and there will be consultation with the people in the Karoo, because we want to listen to what their concerns are and answer their questions. That environmental impact assessment will take 1.5 years, 2 years maybe in total. So if we get an award of licenses today, maybe in year 3, the first well would actually be drilled in the Karoo.
So it's some time off. I want to get back to this, the numbers that the EIA are putting out there, 390 trillion cubic feet. It would make South Africa the 8th biggest resource in the world, 2/3 of what the United States has got, and we know how that's changed that economy. Where do they get these numbers from?
Well, these are usually estimates are made by geologists. I'm a geologist myself as well. That make a regional estimate of what could be in the Karoo area. And the Karoo area is a geological basin, and you can make reasonable estimates of what this could be. I don't think the number is too important. I think if there would be 100 TCF, 50 TCF, that would be already a lot. I'm coming myself, obviously, from Holland. I live here in Cape Town. But in Holland, we have a 100 TCF gas field that has made Holland rich for already 50 years. And by comparison, Mossel Bay, the gas-to-liquid plant there of Petrozee, was commissioned on 1 TCF. So if you have 50 TCF, that would be great news. And that is also what the econometrics report actually estimated. If there would be 50 TCF, you get a lot of revenue to the state. You get a lot of jobs, hundreds of thousands of jobs. Not only with the oil and the gas industry, but also with the new industries that will pop up because there's security of supply. And in addition to that, of course, a significant boost to the GDP. This could be a real game changer if the gas is there to be produced commercially.
But we have quite a long road to walk until we know that.
Yes, I would like the road to be as short as possible, I'll tell you. In the meantime, we may be able to bring in LNG. That is another option, to bring in gas earlier into country. Also something Shell is interested in, obviously, to do. That would be also an option to at least fill in the increased demand of energy that we believe will happen in this country. Rather than producing more coal, which produces a lot of CO2, produce clean gas. That would be very good. In addition to renewables, which I think South Africa should also be focusing on.